Welcome back here today on the beautiful campus of Florida Panhandle Technical College in another of our series of highlighting local talent. With us today is Carlon Smith, 2015 graduate from Chipley High School. Carlon's got quite a story. If you're a local and a regular viewer of the show, you probably know Carlon. We've taken a lot of photos and video of him over the years at Philip Roundtree Stadium. Recently, Carlon decided he's back from college for the summer, decided to put together a little 7-on-7 league. We're going to talk a little bit about what that's about, talk a little bit about Carlon's experiences so far at college, and certainly talk a little bit about his high school history. When Blake Wilson first took over as head football coach and athletic director just recently, in the last couple of years, he came on the show and I asked him, to what do you attribute the fact that we have such a high degree of athleticism, scholastic achievement, and just downright good kids in this area? He pointed out the fact that it's the family unit. We've got good people, good community, and Carlon is an example of just that. When we come back, we're going to talk to Carlon about all of this and more, and we will be right back. Welcome back. As mentioned, our guest today is Carlon Smith. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
You were a 2015 graduate
from
Chipley High School.
Yes, sir.
My wife and I take thousands of photos at all the local football games, so
right.
we took your photo a lot. Matter of fact, when we sat down in the pre-show, you picked up one of our print magazines, Real Florida Magazine, and you said that I was playing that year, so maybe later on you'll look at it and see if there's any photos of you in there.
Yes, sir, I definitely will.
You were successful as a student and as an athlete at Chipley High School.
Right.
Talk a little bit about your time at Chipley High School and anything else about your family you want to talk about.
Okay. Coming up at Chipley High School, it was a great experience. You know, I played basketball, football. I tried baseball. You know what I'm saying? It didn't work out too well, but you know, it's a great community. It's a great sports. You know what I'm saying? And it's just a great place to be around. You have great people, you have great support system, you know what I'm saying? And it's just a great feeling to be from Chipley.
You worked hard and were fortunate enough to get a scholarship.
Right.
You're at Antelope Valley in Lancaster, California.
Yes, sir.
Just east of the mountains, so you went from 100% humidity to 0% humidity.
Oh, yes, sir.
Talk about what that was like, that change.
Oh, man. In California, basically, it's dry heat. So when you come back to Florida, you get all wet and sticky, you like, oh, man. Ugh. And then you just used to the dry heat, but it's just getting used to, that's all.
It may be dry heat, but it's hot.
Right, it's very
What's it,
hot.
115?
We practice in the summer around 109, 110, 111, stuff like that. Yes, sir.
And if you said that here, they wouldn't believe
They
you.
wouldn't believe it.
You are basically in the desert.
Yes, sir.
Where you're located.
We're actually in a valley. It consists of Lancaster and Palmdale. So it's like a big bowl of mountains, and it's just like heat and dust and all that kind of stuff. It's like in the outback of LA, basically. Yes, sir.
Culturally, just moving from little old small town Chipley, Florida, to anywhere in California.
Right.
What was your experience in that part of it?
Moved from small Chipley to California, going from 5,000, 10,000 people in the city to 100,000 people is kind of a good experience and kind of eye-opener from different people that you can meet. And it's actually a great experience for me because I met a lot of people and I met a lot of great friends, a lot of great coaching and stuff like that. So it's a great experience for me, and I encourage anyone to explore outside of Chipley because it's great experience and opportunities out there.
You couldn't have got much farther away.
Right.
I guess you could have gone to Washington State or something like, or Maine, but I don't know that you could have gotten much farther.
Right.
In the pre-show, we talked a little bit about your high school days.
Right.
Obviously, you got scholarships, and you have scholarships yet to come that we're going to talk about a little bit in a bit about when you leave Lancaster.
Right.
But you talked about a time that you kind of changed, that up to that point, maybe you're rebelling a little bit, you maybe were fighting the current, and then you started having an epiphany, and all of a sudden things got better for you. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, the end of my junior year, beginning of my senior year, I was kind of taken away from the Chipley community and Chipley basketball and football because of basically parenting-wise, they had custody of me. So basically when I moved to Atlanta, I kind of rebelled. I didn't want to leave Chipley, so I kind of didn't understand like what was going on, and I didn't listen to anybody and stuff like that. So I kind of felt like I was going down the wrong path. But something just told me if I just keep on going hard and do what I got to do, I'll get back to Chipley and I earn my scholarship. So basically that's what I did, and I basically made my way back down to Chipley, and then I played my heart out, basketball and football, and I earned a scholarship to bigger and better things.
Yeah, Antelope Valley, you are halfway through your sophomore year right now?
Right, yes sir.
Okay,
yes, sir.
What's your experience been there?
It's a great experience. It's a great experience because I actually go to one of the biggest junior colleges in Southern California. So it's academic-wise, people-wise, athletic-wise. We actually won our first bowl game in 60-something years.
Wow.
In Lancaster this past year. So it's a great experience. It's great to meet other people. It's great to experience other things that you wouldn't see in this community, and it's just a great opportunity all around.
You came from Florida, just in the circle of people that you know as far as the scholastics and the athletics.
Right.
Do you have a real large cross-section of people from all over there, or is it mainly California?
Like what do you mean? Like
The students, where the students are from?
You have students from everywhere in the state of California. You have out-of-state students like me playing sports. You know what I'm saying? They got recruited out here to play sports also. So it's not really many out-of-state people, but you have a lot of out-of-state student athletes. So that consists of probably 80 to 100 people.
Being a state college, your out-of-state tuition would probably be a lot higher.
Yeah.
So if you were just coming there for school, that's
Right.
probably not going to happen.
No, sir.
It would be because you were coming for sports and,
Right.
and were recruited.
Right. They basically give your financial aid check. You have to take out a student loan because the state of California actually can't offer official scholarships. So basically, your student loan and your financial aid check is paying for your apartments and your food and things in that nature. So it's basically it's an opportunity. That's how I look at it. It's an opportunity just to get to the next level.
And one that's not just being given to you. You're earning it.
Earning it, yes, sir.
I mean, just the way you just described that,
Yes, sir.
I would imagine you're always on that edge where you do poorly, they're not going to mess around with you.
Exactly. Well, in college, it's a business. You know what I'm saying? You come in, you do work hard, you do what you got to do. You're gonna play, you're gonna get out of there. But if you come in, mess around, not learn the plays, and things in that nature, you're not gonna really make anything out of nothing. So you just gotta stay focused through the course.
How are you doing scholastically?
Scholastically, I'm doing very fine. I'm actually graduating this past semester. Well, not this past semester, but the next semester is coming up. So I'll be out of there in January, and I'll be able to transfer to a university.
Again, in the pre-show, we kind of talked a little bit about your experience on the ball field,
Right.
And how you sat out for a little while, and that. First of all, let's talk about the difference going from a small school, small rural area like Chipley. Mm-hmm. You talked about the number of plays that you had to know. Talk a little bit about the differences that you found going from high school to college.
Right. Well, in high school, you learn plays. You learn a lot of plays, actually, but you only run about 5 or 6 a game that's actually consistent. And when you get to college, it's like I said, it's a business. So you have to learn the plays. You have to learn at least 20 to 30 plays. Like, you have to repeat it. You got to keep on at it. So basically, it's all about discipline, self-discipline. You have to sit down and learn the plays. If you want to play, you have to do what it takes. And it's a business. That's all it is.
And you talked about when you first started, you were sitting on the bench a little bit.
Right.
Talk about how that happened.
When I first started, I went in, like, I wouldn't say big-headed, but I went in thinking that I could start based off my talent. And that's not the case. You just can't go in thinking that. You have to go in with the mindset that you have to go in and work. And me, I didn't. So I sat out 3 games. And that was my punishment. You know what I'm saying? So once I realized that I'm not a bench player, I deserve to be in the game. So I started working harder. I started learning the plays, started staying late up night. You know what I'm saying? Just learning the plays, just getting through my head. And then 3rd game of the season, the coach came and picked me up before the game. He was just like, Carlon, you're starting. And I had put up 200 yards all-purpose against the top team in Southern California, which is Santa Monica. So it's all about the mindset.
You proved he was right in his decision.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's definitely right.
But you earned it.
I earned it. It's all about earning it. It's a business.
Yeah, and that's part of what I want our viewers to come away with here
Right.
is the fact that literally in this world, even today, you can get anything you want, but nothing comes easy.
Nothing comes easy.
Nothing comes free.
Right.
You told me that when you get done next semester that you're going to go on, you get another scholarship. Where are you going from here?
University of West Florida wants me, and the University of Montana. But I feel like my chances of University of Montana and my dreams as being a professional football player, I feel like I'll take my talents there, just based off the exposure and stuff like that. But that's my dream, and I'm going to chase it until I can't no more.
You're going to be able to live in the snow?
Oh, I'll live with anything. I'll adjust.
You end up playing in the snow up there.
Right.
When you get toward the latter part of the season,
right.
I mean, you're playing in sometimes 0 degrees, and it's a different world, no doubt.
Right.
And especially, and you went from 100% humidity, 90 degrees, to 110 degrees, 0 humidity.
Right.
You go up there, you're back to the humidity, except now you got no heat, So now, what got my attention, and the reason that I first contacted you was that I saw that you were starting to advertise. You were putting together a 7-on-7 tournament, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Tell me a little bit about what you're looking at there.
The 7-on-7 tournament is to bring basically the community together and for a greater purpose. And I want to let the younger youth know that it's a way out, just like we made it out. Me, Copa McCray, J.J. Holmes, Amanda Pascal. You know what I'm saying? List goes on, but I want them to know that it's a greater purpose and it's a greater way to get out of their situation, just like we did. You know what I'm saying? And I want the younger kids to compete with the older guys that's coming out. I have people coming from Tallahassee, FAMU, and I have people coming from Cottondale, Vernon, Mariana, maybe Panama City. You know what I'm saying? So it's basically getting the kids to compete and basically getting them ready for what's ahead of them if they want to play this sport they love, if they so-called love. You know what I'm saying? So that's basically the greater purpose.
Kobe graduated, a couple years before you?
1 year.
1 year.
Yes, sir.
He's doing well.
Oh, very well. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Where's he now?
The University of Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
You think he's going to go pro?
Oh, I feel like it. I feel like anybody can go pro if they put their mind to it.
He just needs to stay healthy.
Yes, sir.
He's got the size.
Yes, sir.
And for what he does, you're a little guy.
Yes, sir.
I mean, in the scheme of things,
yes, sir.
Not trying to insult you
yes,
there,
I
but
know.
you're on the smaller end.
Yes, sir.
You got to work harder.
Yes, sir.
Talk a little bit how that was in high school, now in college, and then looking forward. What does that bring to the table? What's that? Does it build a fire in you? I mean, what's it do?
Oh, yes, sir. Coming up small, you kind of got to earn your respect. And I felt like I did that by the way I hit and the way I practiced and the way I worked hard. I kind of made everybody respect me in that way, you know what I'm saying? Instead of trying to be all the tough guy and stuff like that, I made them respect me because if I can do this on the field, imagine what I can do to you in person, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of how I felt, and I had that fire burning in me, and I still have it burning in me. And all the doubt and all the hate and all that, despise all that, and I will make it. And that's just the mindset that I have. Yes, sir.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
5'5".
Yes, sir.
Some of your stats online show 5'7".
Yes,
some
sir.
show 5'6".
Yes, sir.
I kind of had the feeling that you were 5'5" because that's what you were in high school when
Yes,
you were a
sir.
senior. What kind of response did you get? Well, obviously they offered you the scholarship, but from Antelope Valley, did you have that conversation with them? Did they ever address the fact that you were coming in a little bit on the smaller side?
Well, when I spoke to Antelope Valley, they basically told me they needed me to come in as a playmaker and put the balls in my hands and see what I can do. And it's obvious that they can look at me and tell I'm a smaller guy. But what I can bring to the table when I get on the field and what they seen for themselves, like, just check out my highlights, you know what I'm saying? It'll tell you a lot just based off how I play. And coming up, I was a defensive player, so I was always a physical player. So when I basically got my position at wide receiver, that's in college you can play one spot, so you know what I'm saying? When I basically got there, I just took control of it and put my DB skills into effect, and I drive people to the ground, whether it's blocking, whether it's blowing past people. You basically got to use your size to your advantage.
So wide receiver is the position you're playing now?
Yes, sir. Slot receiver.
But you're fast.
Yes,
you always have been fast.
Yes, sir.
What are you running the 40 in?
Laser, I ran a 4.8. So that's not pretty good laser, and I'm not too proud of that, but look at the film. It tells you what I can do. So, I'm not too much worried about that. Yes, sir.
Have you had discussions with the Montana people?
Yes, sir.
And what are they saying to you?
They basically want me to graduate and come in and be a playmaker. They just want me to graduate and come in.
So that's an open invitation.
Yes, sir.
All you got to do is graduate.
Graduate.
And you say at this point, you're probably going in that direction.
Yes, sir. I know I'm going in that direction. I have that mindset that I'm going to finish, and that's what I'm going to do.
Let's come back to the 7-on-7. You say you've already gotten some good response.
Right.
And what you're actually doing is reaching out to all of the neighboring communities.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Jackson, Holmes, Bay County, even
Right.
I guess there's some interest, and maybe even Southeast Alabama.
Right.
From where are you getting response right now? Where have you got people that are saying, yeah, I want to be part of this?
Mariana, Tallahassee, Vernon.
As far away as Tallahassee?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Bonifay, Panama City. I'm trying to recruit somewhere in between the line of Alabama and, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get some Alabama people in. You know, I'm trying to get some special guests come in and play with us, you know, to make it more exciting, more, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be a great experience. It's going to be a great experience.
You mentioned some of the names of some of the guys that were interested, and I'm not going to mention those because why build up false expectations if
Right.
it doesn't work? But don't you imagine if you were still in high school and you knew that guy who was already playing in college,
Yes, sir.
and you had the opportunity to go nose to nose, wouldn't you be right there with it?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, because I imagine that would be a strong incentive for somebody to want to come to just show what they can do against that guy.
Right.
Right now, you've got a date in mind to do this, and what is that date?
I'm trying to get everything done this week, so I'm going to try to have it next weekend, July 8th and 9th. So I'm trying to have it as a weekend instead of proposed to just one day. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to have 2 days, a weekend of fun. So I'm just trying to bring everybody out. Let's have a good time. Let's compete. Let's see what you're all about. That's what it's about. Yes, sir.
Well, it'll be the week after the 4th of July.
Right.
So hopefully people have all that out of their system. They'll be
Right.
ready to settle down and have some working fun.
Right.
For guys who are still playing in school right now, great opportunity to sort of get tuned up.
Right. Right.
And maybe measure themselves against some of the
Right.
other guys and maybe put it in their head, okay, when I get back to school, this is what I got to work on.
Yes, sir. That's you. Basically, you have to make it easier for yourself. And what I mean by that, you already have to have that work mentality before you go into season. You have to already have like a killer instinct before you go into season. You have to have everything processed before you go into season, and that's gonna make it so much easier. And I wish I would have learned that coming up. And I transitioned to college, and it taught me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm trying to reach out to these younger guys and instill into them that you have to already be ready before you go into the battle. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
It's gonna be so much easier, and that's the main purpose of this 7-on-7 tournament.
This is pads, full contact, right?
Oh no, sir, not gonna be full contact. I think
okay.
we'll have to have some kind of insurance or something like that. So we're just gonna do two-hand touch.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Because my first thought was that your respective schools are not going to want you
Right.
doing this.
Right.
You mentioned possibly Trent Forest
Yes,
expressing
sir.
some interest.
Yes, sir. He told me that he could probably do it if they don't have workouts. So I'm just gonna hold him to it. I think he's gonna show up. I think he's a great friend. He's a great teammate. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like he'll come through for me. So that's what I'm waiting on. Yes, sir. I'm just waiting for the response.
When do you actually leave to go back to California for school?
July 17th.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So I'm trying to get everything, all the fun out of the way while I can, because when I go back, it's strictly business.
Yeah, and then you've got time off at the holidays.
Right.
Do you come back at a time where you may be here in time for some of the football games prior to the holidays?
No, sir. Actually, Chipley's football season, it starts during our football season out there. So basically, I'll be in school. I don't play anymore because it's a 2-year college. I already did my 2 years. So I'll basically be in school, just going to school, and they're in season. So I really can't make it back for that type of stuff. But if I get the time one Friday, and I might fly back and just catch a game, you know what I'm saying?
Reason I ask is
Yes,
that
sir.
any time that you're going to be in town on a Friday night for a home game,
Right.
love to have you come up to the broadcast
sir.
booth. Where, as you know, we're broadcasting the Chipley home games on
Right.
FPTC Radio, the
Right.
college radio station. Love to have you come up there with Bill Chelmos and myself, and
Yes, sir.
allow me to ease back out, maybe go down and be able to take some photos, and you and Bill do some play-by-play. I would love
yes,
to have
sir.
you do that.
Oh, yes, sir. That's fine with me.
You consider that?
Yes, sir. That's
Good.
fine with me.
If somebody's interested in what you're talking about, the 7-on-7 tournament, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you?
They can reach me at my cell number, 850-849-3737, or you could reach me on Facebook, Carlon Smith, Twitter, Instagram, anything. You can just get in touch with me, and I'll be available. Just come to compete.
Say that phone number one more time slow.
850-849-3737.
Okay, that's on the screen right now. If you want to get in touch with Carlon, best of luck with the 7-on-7.
Right.
More importantly, you're an impressive young man. Best of luck going forward.
Oh, yes, sir.
I hope that you go out there, kick butt, and take names, make us proud in Montana, and then sky's the limit after that.
Yes, sir. That's the plan. I appreciate it.
Thank you for taking the time today.
Oh, yes, sir.
Anytime you're in town, give me a shout. Maybe we'll get you to come on and talk a little bit about what's new, what's exciting in Carlon Smith's life. Whether you realize it or not, people who live as my age, who live in a town, they really want to know what's going on. And many times, the good thing about Facebook and social media is that we get to see some of that. You and I are Facebook friends, have been since high school, since your high school days. But again, I think that people would really have an interest if you were to come back on and share that with us anytime you're in town, if you give me a shout.
Oh, yes, sir. No problem. That's no problem at all. I'll do it. Yes, sir.
And again, thanks for being here today.
Oh, yes, sir. No problem. Anytime. It's my pleasure.
Our guest today has been Carlon Smith, 2015 graduate from Chipley High School. If you've been here any period of time at all, you've certainly known his name. It was shouted from the loudspeakers at the Philip Roundtree Stadium, the Chipley High School football field, many times over his career. Now in Southern California, now at Antelope Valley in Lancaster, California. Carl, this is not the last time you're going to see Carlon. He's going to be back and talk a little bit more about what's going on. If you're interested, more importantly, though, in this 7-on-7 tournament, his number's on the screen right now. It's his cell phone. You can get him. Whether you're a local or not, as he pointed out, you got people coming as far away as from Tallahassee. This is going to be a good time to have fellowship, bring people together in a common bond of athleticism and fellowship. And hopefully you're going to get a whole bunch of people show up for that. We'll be right back.